Ellie and an injured Joel shelter in an abandoned house. As Ellie searches for supplies, she remembers her time in Fedra Military School, which she attended with her best friend Riley Abel. While Ellie causes trouble and fights with her peers, Riley has run away and been missing for 3 weeks. Riley sneaks back into their dorm room and reveals to Ellie she has joined the Fireflies. She brings Ellie to an abandoned mall where they explore a photo booth, an arcade, and a carousel. Riley tells Ellie the Fireflies have assigned her to a post in Atlanta, and it is her last night in Boston. While Ellie is upset at first, the two make up, then dance to loud music and kiss. The music attracts a nearby clicker, and the two are attacked and infected. Tearfully, they decide to stay together and wait the infection to take hold. Back in the present, Ellie finds a sewing needle and thread. She begins to stitch up Joel's wound. Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and that is the synopsis of episode 7 of The Last of Us, titled Left Behind. And I guess that's what it refers to, is that she did leave behind a memory, someone who she felt near and dear to, had a crush on, shared her first kiss with, then realized that she actually felt the same way. I mean, when I saw the preview after the last episode of this very episode, I thought that she left Joel. Maybe Joel had passed and she ended up going to some type of police academy or something, whatever, you know. I mean, I know that Fedra is pretty much their military, their police, whatever. That's now taken place and it's taken hold now in the post-apocalyptic era now. But it turns out that as she was trying to find a way to help Joel and to do whatever she can to save him, the only person now that she loves and that she has in her life, she then flashes back. I didn't know it was a flashback until until they showed her again at the door. She was about to leave. Joel pushed her off and said, pretty much saying, leave because I'm gonna die. I don't want to hold you down. You gotta go north. That's what he said, go north. So she's about to go, and then we see the whole thing of her and Riley. And then after everything that happened, they flash back to Ellie. Ellie is frantically looking for something. I was thinking, was she looking for medicine? Was she looking for something? Maybe to ease Joel's pain, but she finds a needle and thread. And it's funny because all I kept thinking is, oh, you gotta sterilize the thing. You gotta boil it, put it in hot water, and boil the the needle and everything. But they don't have that available. At least probably not in the place that they're in. So she did what she did, and it goes to show how deep their relationship is, like a father and daughter. And she's stitching them up, and that's how it ends. It just ends after one stitch and fades to black. But what I really like about this show, and sometimes it's one of the things that I don't like, not in a bad way, but it's just like they tend to let you be attached to a character, right? They introduce you to a character. You're like, wow, I like this character. I like the dynamic between her and Storm Reed, who plays Riley. A very good actress. Right on the same level as Bella Ramsey. And she's been in a number of things before. She was in the Suicide Squad. And she was also in The Invisible Man. And that's really a great movie. And also same thing with Suicide Squad, the newer one. But we see what they're going through, their relationship, their budding romance, if you will. Very, very sweet, very poignant, I really, really liked this, just as much as I liked Bill and Frank, their story. But at first, you didn't see it. You didn't see that happening. You didn't see it really go anywhere at first. Riley was talking about a boy. Why we getting married? Something like that. That's what she said. So you're thinking, and we all know that people that are familiar with the games, stuff like that, that there is a thing like this. There's a character like this in the game. And I know that there's some people that are put off by it. Oh, here we go again. They're introducing a gay relationship, a relationship between two girls, two women, right? Just like sometimes it's like with Frank and Bill. To me, it doesn't even affect me. As long as they don't shove it down your throat and make it obvious, like they're trying to tell you, like, this is it. These are two same-sex people and they're having a relationship, and you're gonna like it, whether you're gonna accept it, whether you like it or not. Those are the shows or movies that I don't like when they do that. Just make it natural. Just make it, because it's a normal thing. Relationships between a man and a woman and a man, two men and two women, normal. Some people don't think it's normal, but I do. I got no problem with that, and I love how they introduced it in this show, from Bill and Frank, and now to Riley and Bella, Riley and Ellie. Very sweet, and a point where you knew something was going to happen. You see them dancing, you see them looking at each other, and then you see them embrace and kiss, or just kiss, I should say. And then, of course, that sweet moment is met with one of the best moments. It's met with one of the worst moments, when there was a clicker. Apparently, this clicker was cooking in the damn pot there, meaning, it was getting ready to wake up. And when it did, boy, you saw both of them struggle, both of them fighting for their lives. I didn't realize that this was before the Ellie we see now. She's just infected, but she's not turning. So I thought this was the present day, right? And then when she got bit, because Riley got bit on her hand, but that was after Ellie had revealed, and she's like this, and she's no, she's like rubbing it. At first I go, is that because the whatever immunity she has in her is leaking out, like she got bit in the same area? But no, this is how she got bit, and apparently somehow, as we know, for the first 6 episodes, she's not infected. I mean, she's not like turning. She's infected, but she's not turning. So that's why they have the whole mentality of like, bring her to the Fireflies, bring her to a place where they can take whatever, stuff, whatever she has in her, the blood, whatever, and kind of manufacture it and try to make a anti-venom, if you will, or anti, thing. It's something that can combat the being infected. And that's really, really good writing. I'm telling you, this show has probably the best writing, where they can let you think one thing and then it's actually completely else. I thought this was present day, and it actually was a flashback. You get to see her being, in the Fedra Academy, and you see her with Riley, which is really a great thing. I love their relationship. I love their friendship. It's so genuine. It's so wholesome. And what Riley did, just to take her throughout that journey, take her to a mall, show her the 5 wonders. Well, it's actually 4, but she added the escalator, which I remember when I first time I ever saw an escalator, I felt the same way. It was pretty cool. I was actually doing the same thing, walking up as it's going down and everything like that. And then of course there's a photo booth, there's a carousel, there's the arcade, and then finally the Halloween store. And I really, really loved everything about that. It's one of those things where you see her just pretty much. I don't blame Ellie for falling in love with Riley. She goes through all that effort just to give her and show her a good time, and she knows that she's going to be leaving that night, so she pretty much did this because she wanted to have a good time with her dear friend, and then they're able to show each other exactly how they feel. Ellie's the one that takes the initiative and goes in and leans in for a kiss. It's very sweet. I like that. But then we see what happens when they're both bit, and Ellie doesn't know that she's immune, so she thinks she's dying, and so they're figuring out like, well, there's three options. Then I should like the first option of just pretty much making it quick and painless, which probably means shooting maybe one person shooting themselves in the head, and the other one should put themselves out of their misery. And then the other ones, but then they figured, hey, how about we just ride this out? Yeah, we're gonna become infected. It's gonna take over, but let's have fun in the meantime. And then I like the fact that they embraced and put their heads, they leaned in and they were hugging each other as they, were crying, and knowing that what their fate is. Really, really, I mean, yeah. We don't know what happens with Riley. They may show a little bit of it, maybe not, in the future episodes. But I guess we know that Riley succumbs to her being infected. I don't know if she she's just left behind. She might be makes Ellie leave so that she can turn, and then Ellie can go. And I don't know. Maybe Ellie, at the time she's supposed to, maybe they were both supposed to turn at the same time, and what happens is that she turns, and maybe they're expecting that they're going to turn together so that they can just, but maybe Riley turns, but Ellie doesn't, and then Ellie decides to do what she needs to do and put Riley out of her misery. Who knows? She the one that attacked them, that clicker, she put a knife to his head. That's another thing too. I go, how come you don't do what you did like before? But this was before, so she wasn't with Joel. She didn't get training. She didn't get see Joel as an example of what to do. That's what pretty much she's doing, like on the job training. She's just following Joel, and she's learning on as she goes and stuff like that. And but like I said, this episode really just a lot of good things happen in this episode. I love the way they wrote it. I love the characters. I love the acting. Storm Reed and Bella Ramsey have a great chemistry on the thing. They really look like they've been longtime friends, and I like that when it comes through. When it comes through, and you see that they actually do enjoy. You see like the behind the scenes stuff, and they're enjoying it. They're like getting along. Bella Ramsey enjoyed working with her and everything like that. So when you have that type of chemistry, it really, really does come across the screen. You look at Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. As Joel and Ellie, they couldn't have been more perfectly cast as for it to be them. I'm glad they cast them. I enjoy both of them. I think they're both great actors. I love the shit that they've done before, and the stuff they're going to do after this is going to be great too. Bella Ramsey's just starting to get into a groove now. She's gonna do big, great things. She's probably gonna go on to win Oscars and, and Golden Globes and maybe even Tonys, whatever the awards are. She'll still go on and win them. And Pedro Pascal, I can't say enough about him. He didn't really do much in here, but that's just because it was Ellie's backstory. And I love seeing Pedro Pascal. And it looks like he's gonna survive, and I'm glad to see that because it really wouldn't be the same without him. Maybe that's the one thing that was missing in this episode, was that we didn't see him as much. We just saw him going through the pain of being stabbed and just trying to hang on, trying to survive. But we know Joel is a survivor, so we know that he's going to get through this. And like I said, just all around, just a great episode. And again, we see characters that are going to be taken away from us. Ellie goes on to survive only because she apparently is immune. Riley, maybe not so much. Probably won't see her again. This is probably the one and done episode, like we saw with, we see with other episodes, with other, what do you call it, characters, right? Catherine, she was one episode, boom, gone. Same thing with, who was her partner there, that guy. But I'm really, really just enjoying this the show. I'm enjoying just the way, just the pacing of it, the storytelling, the character development, the way they have, the characters just gel. I love how the characters just get along and they gel and they really, really have great chemistry and they go along with the story. As it's going on, you actually care about these characters. You don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to die. I felt this. I felt that way about both Ellie and Riley. When we find out that they're bit, especially Riley, I was really feeling that. And I thought, because like I said, I thought it was the present day. So I'm thinking, why was she panicking? Why was Ellie panicking? She's already immune, but that was before. This was when she first got bit. So there you are, right? And I think that can, if I'm not mistaken, maybe really, really after this is like that's when well, I mean, they did say that they locked the mall up, closed it off because there's clickers are infected in there. And she was apparently in there. What do you call it? Riley. So she was in there. She was even sleeping there at night. So she was actually working on the whole thing of the five wonders, or actually at that time four wonders, before she decided to make the escalator the fifth wonder. So she was doing all that stuff, and I guess it's just because the clicker was just hibernating. It wasn't awoke. It wasn't awake yet. But the music actually, when they played the music loud, it actually attracted the attention of the clicker. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this episode. I really, really thought it was well done. I'm really loving this show, and can't wait for the next episode where we see Ellie in the show, the preview after the episode, where she actually is aligned with another group, but the group wants to kill her, but one guy wants to protect her. And that's pretty much what they show. They show her shooting at them and stuff like that. So I don't know how she gets to the situation where they want to kill her or they don't want her, maybe they find out that she's infected, and I don't know. But one of those things where, like I said last week when I saw the preview and it was her at a academy or whatever, I'm thinking she ended up going to an academy after the whole situation with Joel. But like I said, it was a flashback. It's a way to connect something that she lost in the past to what she may lose in the present, and that is Joel. She lost Riley, and then she doesn't want to lose Joel. So you can see the franticness and the way she was looking for something, and then she finally finds the needle and thread, and she uses that to sew up Joel, because that would be much better than leaving him open to infection and more blood loss. Good thinking on her part, and that just goes to show how much she loves Joel and how much she wants to save a man who is pretty much her father figure, and she doesn't want to lose him. Well done. Love this episode. Can't say anything more. So anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.